At 7 o'clock, I'd like to get the meeting started. Please stand for the pledge. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the January 11th, 2018 Manistee Township Board and the January 11th, 2018 special board meetings. For support? Support. Been moved and supported that we approve the minutes of the January 11th, 2018 Manistee Township Board meeting along with the January 11th special board meeting. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. You've received your treasurer's report. Any comments? If not, we'll place it on file. Manistee Township Planning Commission. You want to reiterate anything just to find out?
No. Any questions? Board? No.
This was on file. Was there an appeal meeting?
No.
We don't have any.
Well, I mean.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. They had an organizational fee.
Oh, okay.
Not on variance.
Very good. There is no correspondence in your packets other than your copies of the minutes. Anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time? Come on now.
Are we allowed to say anything?
Go ahead, sir.
About pickleball?
Go ahead.
Well,
You're Mr. Ramon, correct?
people don't.
Yes.
We just want to show our support for anything that you guys, if it comes through, we sure would like to be a big part of it if we can.
Mr. Ramon, you and I spoke on the phone, and I suggested to you what the status is currently. Tomorrow, I have to have a grant application in, and that'll be covered further on the agenda. But I have a grant application in for some money to repair the tennis pickleball courts that we have, to get them up to safe condition. I don't know, obviously, I don't know if we're going to get the money. If we do, that work will be done directly in the spring. But as I suggested to you, it's not beyond the realm of our recreation plan to maybe even create something bigger and better. It's not anything that we're committed to at this time, but it's certainly not out of the realm of creating this area up here that we have for.
That'd be awesome.
But
The thing is, our question somebody in the group was asking, if you were to get the grant, and if you were to resurface the courts, could we put some of our money into it, and then with Greg, he said he would donate $10,000 towards it. If we could do it all at one time, it'd probably save, as long as you have the equipment there. But it might be jumping the gun, I don't know. But it just, we're kind of behind the scenes trying to collect money on our own, and we hope to have a pretty good system,
well, your efforts are certainly.
But I thought that'd be a good time to do it, as long if you get the grant and if you're going to do the work, that as long as they were there, to go ahead and just make it big enough so we could have.
We could certainly look at it, sir. We can improve on the project. We just can't make it any lesser than the project that we're.
So if you was to get the grant, it's not like you have to do it that way, the way you submitted it, and
there can be more contributed with it.
So you'll take our money then?
Sure.
He's a politician.
Even though that office is closed.
I sure appreciate, we're getting excited about that. And just today we had more people waiting to play than we had playing, and we kind of I don't want to say the women, but boy, they do not want to wait.
I'm not touching that one.
it was kind of fun in a way, but yet, I mean, it's a good problem to have, I think.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get even bigger this summer. Because
Every week it grows.
I have people approach me, in the store or on the street or whatever, on the same issue, so, I think you have a large group rallying behind you on support of this thing, and if we can, at minimum, get repaired what we have, so it's a safe surface, but if we can make it larger, we'll certainly look at that, but of course, weather has things to do with it, and our grant application has things to do with it, so hopefully we can provide a safe place to play anyway.
I appreciate that.
And we appreciate all your efforts too, and stay after me, because I don't have a very good memory. I don't mean every day, but
Maybe you need some exercise and join the pickleball.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, I would like to,
I can't do that in Burlington.
I would like to invite any of you that are on the board or anybody here actually just to come and see what we're doing at the Armory. And I think it's kind of awesome for our area to have something that is that enthusiastic. It's really neat, and I look forward to it just to go. I have a boring life, I guess, but it is a lot of fun.
We got some boards you could sign up for. Yes, ma'am.
Well, last Saturday, we had 4 ladies that came from Petoskey, and they were coming here for the weekend. And so they looked up on the pickleball internet and found out that Manistee had pickleball courts. And so at 9 o'clock in the morning Saturday, 4 of them walked in and they played for 3 hours. And they were so excited about it and happy. And somebody else told me that they knew somebody that was living down in Pentwater, and they were thinking of moving up to Manistee, but they do not want to move up in a city that doesn't have any pickleball courts. Because I'm telling you, they love this sport. It's the fastest growing sport in the United States. And it's been going on for, I would say, at least 20 years, but it's taken all this time to get into the Midwest.
No, there's a lot of interest. I understand that. Yes, sir.
I play tennis in the summer with a group that plays tennis, the guys, and then the women play. I think I told you that. And I asked some of the guys that play tennis about, well, what would happen if we played pickleball over there. You guys, they said, well, we don't even play tennis over here because of the way it is. But they said they would not have any problem with that because they're starting to come our way a little bit. They're playing pickleball also. They'd like to see something that's dedicated for pickleball. And I know you kind of want to go both ways, but in a way, if we dedicated this for pickleball, I think it would be better and you could get more out of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just our opinion.
I understand.
And I didn't want to, I wanted to see what they thought, and they go along with it. I mean, they said, well, go ahead.
Okay.
Karen?
I just wanted to say, to reiterate, we do have a lot of snowbirds from the area, and I golf with a lot of these people. But it just shocked me. So when I spoke to some of them this year, because they were telling us at the place where they stay down there, they have like 50 pickleball courts. And these people are avid golfers. They're here in the summer for that. But they said when they go down to Florida, they don't even golf anymore. They just play pickleball. I'm serious. It surprised me so. And so they said, and there really isn't any place here that they can play outside in the summer.
Yeah.
And I mean, these aren't even, Manistee native people. I mean, these are people that live in condos here in the summer and go south in the winter.
Yeah.
But they're telling me that they don't even play golf. I mean, these are people that I played golf with here for years, and they tell me they don't even play golf down there. They just play pickleball. So that's how it is with retirees.
No, I understand the interest completely, and as I suggested to Mr. Long on the phone yesterday, the day before, I get a lot of people approach me about the same project, so, We are in the dead of winter right now, but as soon as the weather breaks, or we can get some idea of what can be done up there. As I suggested to you, we may have a, I think they call them landscape architects. Come and tell me how we can get the most benefit out of that piece of property. So,
There was, I want to make sure, I want my words to come out good, so that I don't waste everybody's time. But, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
no, I do it all the time.
It'll come to you.
We understand your interest, we understand your enthusiasm, and it's not falling on deaf ears. We're listening to what you're saying, and we'll do what we can to.
I know you're going after a different grant than the one I thought you were going after the one or that.
From the foundation, from the county foundation?
Yes. And if you need any help writing a grant, we know a couple people that could help.
That'd be great. That'd be great, because I'm not very good at it. Obviously, you know, get
They
together.
have, this one lady has already helped people from Arcadia get a grant, and she's helped another horse farm. She has done this before, and
Okay,
but
Sure.
that one, that's a big grant that might be coming up soon, and they haven't taken an application for it yet, but they will be pretty soon, and we should be on top of that.
if you can keep an ear to that, I would appreciate it very much.
Okay.
Can I just interrupt?
Yes, ma'am?
Another draw that this might be too, if we have enough pickleball courts, and I believe it's 6 that we need, then we can have tournaments here. Now, Peggy is going down to Detroit to play the tournament this weekend, but people travel to go to these tournaments, and it really could be a big draw for the
Restaurants, motels,
Sure,
everything.
sure.
I mean, it's
Well, you know, Greg.
Yes.
He spent, in Williamson, he said he spent $250 to go there for the motel, for eating, for gas
Sure.
and all that. So, I mean, it's not like it's gonna
No, it'd be good for the
stretch, but
community.
It's a draw.
Sure. No, we understand completely, and we will keep you posted as to any developments that happen. And you and Mr. Sheffield, I'll talk to you guys anytime.
Anything that he wants to do, we'll do whatever.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Did you bring us first so that we could leave?
Do you want to leave?
No, no, we didn't. You're not even on the agenda, sir, but you're certainly welcome to leave because.
It's not.
Well, I try and get you people are rather pleasant. I try and get the troublemakers out first. Is that it? Anyone else to bring anything before the board? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Commissioner, you got anything going on?
Well, I'll give you a quick rundown. From the intergovernmental meeting, the tribe has their economic development corporation in place, and they're starting to meet. They also have a pharmacy that is going to be opened up there at the Tribal Governmental Center, and that is open to the public. So if you're aware that there is a pharmacy there, if so desired. There's going to be a gun shop with a indoor range going in Filer Township on 31 by, I believe it's the old hillside there, up on top by the Clark Station.
Have they applied for that?
It's in the works. I think, as far as I know, it's a green light to go. I believe that would be correct in saying that. The city did not do the curbside recycling. It would cost them an extra $98,000 per year, from my understanding. That's what was reported to us. So that is not moving forward. Sarah probably has something in regard to that, some knowledge that she could share. Let's see here. We have preliminary numbers for the county. We finished the year with a $23,000 and change surplus for the budget. Now, keeping in mind, that was I believe $186,000 check we paid for the entire outlay for the McGinnis drain. So that expense will not be coming up for us again, because we've paid our debt, if you will. So that's good. We won't know the final numbers until the audit is completed. And there was no fund balance transferred to make that happen, either to be in the surplus. So that's basically a $200,000 plus shift that we didn't have to make, which is good. Dave Kieft, we do have a contract with Mr. Kieft. He will start on the 20th of January, or 20th of February. Mr. Kaminsky's last day is the 28th of February, after 31 plus years of service. And Tom's been, as Dennis will tell you, he's a good guy to work with, you know, knowledgeable and accommodating. Mr. Gutowski, our emergency management coordinator, is certified in active shooter training, and he's been going around, and if anybody in the community is in searching or need of that type of training, he is available, and he's good at that. He's a very exuberant person, and we're happy to have him doing that for whoever. We were also told by Mr. Espovic, our central dispatch coordinator, that we may have texting, they're hoping to have texting notification available for 911 dispatching by the end of this calendar year. It's a work in progress. They've got a Viper phone system that they're working on getting in place, and it's where we're heading towards, let's put it that way. We have a new library board member, Barbara Sletter. We have put Ms. Kim Weckesser on Networks Northwest board. The Chamber of Commerce gave us a recap, and I'll tell you, Stacy Bitework does a great job down there, and her team, and I am a liaison for the Chamber board. Without a doubt, it's one of the meetings I look forward to going to, is they have a dynamic board, and it's fun to participate in it, and they want to get things done. They're moving the ball forward, trust me. And the Bay Area Recycling in Calva, after the fire, I reached out to the owner of that, Andy, and I can't think of his last name off the top. Gail, there you go. And I also contacted Lisa Leedy from AES, and also Stacy Bitework with the Chamber. They all contacted Andy the morning after the fire, and they are going to be staying in Calva. About 10% of their building was burnt. And Sarah, you can probably add to this in regard to, from what I have been told, they are the biggest recycler in the entire Great Lakes region.
Midwest for mattresses.
It's one of those things you don't even know about, and it's there. They have a huge impact, and again, she's qualifying that it's mattresses.
Right.
So it has a big impact, and they've got big plans on growing. So we're glad they're staying in the community, because that was one of the concerns is where are they going to go after the fire. Sheriff O'Hagan, if anybody in the room knows anybody who has any interest in being a corrections officer or even a deputy, he is having a tremendously hard time trying to find anybody to fulfill those roles. I mean, it's an opportunity for people to come back to their community if they've left it. That's a line of work they'd be interested in pursuing. So that's something to put on your back burner in your thoughts. And I sent the board the letter on behalf of the Bar Lake Improvement Board, and I don't know if you guys have it on the agenda or not, but whenever you want to discuss that, as I stated in the letter, here to field questions, and Guy also. So that's all I've got.
Any questions for Jeff? Thanks, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Guy, you got anything going on in your office?
No new complaints. Only had one land use permit that I issued and an associated construction permit application, which isn't completed yet. At the planning commission meeting, we're working on a zoning ordinance amendment. Both the map, the text, and the zoning board of appeals size. The notice should be in the paper soon. I've got all the envelopes on my desk to send out to the people within 300 feet of the.
This was with regards to,
A solar farm, a large solar farm at the Heathlands Golf Course.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Jerry pickleballers put the golf courses out of business, see?
They won't have a golf course there then?
That's correct.
That's, wow.
If it goes
You play
through.
golf there already.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's a $70 million investment, I think they told us. Yeah. So twice the size of like Meyer's investment in the community.
Wow. Man.
Generating 45 megawatt roughly power, 3 times the size of Tippy Dam. So this is a serious thing, yeah. 300 acres of solar cells.
We look forward to our electrical bills going down.
Yeah.
Fat chance.
They say it's cost competitive with traditional sources of electricity. I, don't know, but that's the claim.
And so you have to have a public hearing on this.
We have a public hearing, it's scheduled for February 27th here at this location at 7 PM.
Okay.
All right. They're working, they asked me to meet with the township attorney concerning the private road issue on Canterbury Lane. I think I'm negotiating with Richard to try and resolve, because we have some inconsistencies in our zoning ordinance on how many homes can be on a road before it has to be brought up to County Road Commission standards. So we're going to hopefully try and resolve that. I attended a meeting at the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians concerning the tribal sewer. They're proposing a 2% increase in the rate per 1,000 gallon for commercial customers only. No change to residential customers. Got an application for a planned unit development from Oak Grove at the end of Washington Street. They have 20 acres of vacant land right now. They're thinking about putting in a housing development, basically. What else? The master plan. The planning commission decided they would like to go out for more proposals. Since we, couldn't be taken care of by the county planning director. So they want to go out for more proposals, since we have to wait. And the planning commission elected new officers for the year. Dwayne Anderson, president. Ed Singh, vice chair, excuse me, not president, chair. Vice chair, and Linda Fineout, secretary. That's about it.
These proposals for our master plan, where do we go with that? Do we do that into like the MTA magazine? Do we do that with local engineering firms?
I was going to send it out to engineering firms that work locally, yes.
Okay. The only reason I'm questioning is because the last time we had a group do that, it took them forever to do it, and it was always and most of it was orientated around larger communities.
Right.
And it took you people a long time to redo it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's some discussion about just that it shouldn't take too much because the text is pretty much correct. It's the data in the current master plan that really needs to be updated. So,
Very good.
but I haven't written the request yet, since I've been focusing on the amendment to the zoning ordinance. So,
And your building inspection.
and building inspections, right?
Any questions for Guy?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anything going on across the street, Jeff?
There sure is. For the month of January, we had 24 total activities. That was 6 fire-related, 13 medical-related, and meeting station trainings and other activities was 5. Total complaint hours were 41. Chief and officers' hours were 38. Total personnel hours for the month were 121. Still looking at the apparatuses are all in good working order. Still looking at that 131 we should probably talk about more in the future. For the station, that training facility is moving along. We got exterior doors on it, which is like perfect timing. The 541 and 2 classes going on over at the station. They're going to be using it this Saturday to do some ropes and knots and hoisting stuff over on it, so the timing could have been better. They'll be using it more in the future. That class goes until the end of May, so there'll be another probably 10 trainings there at the station. They do that Tuesdays, Thursdays, and pretty much every Saturday, all the way until May. They started in January.
Quite an obligation.
Yeah, it's 300 hours. Sam and Nick from our department are taking it. They're doing well, and shout out to them for doing good. Appreciate that. As far as equipment, we received our flashlights and our 3 rescue suits. We're still waiting on those helmets that we ordered. There's 3 of those for our new folks. Personnel, we did receive a new applicant. He just came the other night, Jimmy Shadle. Kind of some lineage from some prior firefighters, which is kind of training, we have our 2018 training started, and we're going to be working more with like the surrounding departments like East Lake and the city with those ice rescue suits coming up here in a few short weeks. There's going to be an EMR course starting in June at the hospital. There's no date yet, so if you have anybody interested in that, we'll keep you posted on that. That's about 80-hour course. We did receive the money from the revenue sharing for some boots. I'm still working with Cleon trying to get that figured out. And we got I think our 5th notice on the power plant, rejection notice, which is funny, but not funny. There's a new revenue sharing grant coming up. March 2nd is the deadline. We'll be putting in for that. And then just a thank you to the folks that did have the fire in Calico. They had a thank you for the firefighters that attended the fire. Tuesday night they had a pizza party out there in Calico. That was kind of neat. So that was a good thing they did. So other than that, that's all we got going on.
You had an opportunity to use that ladder truck
Yeah,
more than practice, and it worked well.
It worked very well. We probably saved 20 people, 20 hours. The city also came out with their ladder, and that helped control the spread of the fire, because that was some pretty nasty stuff when they're burning. Then they brought in the excavator, pulled the sides off, and we were able to put the fire down to where they could go in there by hand and pull the rest of it apart. So it worked very well. We had about 8 hours that day into it.
Any questions for Chuck? If not, please express our gratitude to the fellows over there, please. There are no changes as far as liquor inspections are concerned. Business to attend to, Sarah. Sarah asked if she could come before the board and touch base with us on Manistee County Recycling Program.
Right. Kind of updated our information on the program, so I apologize for not getting it out to you sooner, but that to you for reading pleasure.
Thank you.
We have a couple extra copies. I don't know if anyone would care to have them. But in light of your having to close your recycling program down because of misuse and contamination, I wanted to just bring it back to your attention that the county has a recycling program that we manage through Public Act 69. This allows, it's a state act that allows the county to, through an interlocal agreement with the townships, to manage a program on their behalf. And so we have 7 of our 14 townships that participate currently. We provide 5 different locations for drop-off. All of the participating townships can use any of those locations because the money that is taken in for the program is dispersed across the entire program. So there's not so much concern about you got to use this one and you got to use this one when we have all of those townships sharing in the use of those sites. For your residents, if you were to come onto our program, they would be able to use the Onekama Township site bordering your township, as well as Brown, which we already know they're probably doing in light of the loss of your site. But it just kind of makes it a lot easier to recycle when people aren't being shooed away because it's not their location. Part of what I feel is really important about our program is that we do have site monitors that we pay to attend to those sites. They check in regularly depending on the demand. Pretty much for our smaller sites, they're there at least once a week. In the peak season times, they're there twice a week. And what I found is that we are only able to pay them for those amount of times of visits, but they are local folks and they really love those sites. It's in their local community and they end up being there more than what we're able to pay them for, just because they want it to really look nice and be clean, and you know, they alert me if there's any problems with regard to contamination. We make sure that it's kept clean and picked up. I mean, our site's really, everyone, Tom Kaminsky comments all the time when he's going by the one in Calava, how it's nice and clean and tidy and neat, and it's really because of those site monitors doing a great job. We provide signage. We have a really nice kiosk that has information in it. You can see a picture of that in the handout. So again, people can be informed. Again, as part of a uniform program, we're able to communicate. We have an electronic newsletter. We have a lot of other ways to communicate. We come to your events. I like to go to the cleanup days if you have one and hand out information. We put information in the tax bill. So again, just do a lot more education to the residents about how to properly use the site, how to help report anyone that's misusing it. So it's again, just a nice, more community-run program that takes all of that burden off of the township and puts it onto the county. So I always tell folks that, you know, it's really the Public Act program that allows it to be a county program, but really the monies that are collected are to run your program. So it's really, I always tell them I'm not really a county employee, I'm hired to manage your recycling program. And so the fee for that is a $16 per improved parcel annually, so it's $16 a year. It's a pretty minimal fee for having recycling available year-round. And the assessment is done on the winter tax bill. We do have Maple Grove Township, which is Calava. They actually pay for their recycling program, and their transfer station comes out of their general fund budget. And so rather than assessing them, we basically invoice them for the number of improved parcels, and then they just write us a check out of that rather than it being assessed to their residents' taxes. So that option is available if that would be the preference of the board to do that. We do use Area 31 Recycling, which I believe is who provided you with your recycling services before. Leon does a fabulous job for our program. He's very responsive when we need to increase collection because of season or because of an event coming in. He's very accommodating to that and calls me when he even sees a problem before my site monitors do. So we have a really good relationship with them for this program.
There are waste hauler.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. So I would encourage you to consider it. I think it would be a really good value to your residents. It would also, you know, just take the burden off of, you know, the surrounding drop-off programs that are, you know, are paying for those programs out of their community's tax dollars to just make it a little bit more equitable. Because, you know, I know it was a busy site and
very busy.
Yeah. So, you know, there's some things I think we could sit down and talk about to, you know, your concerns and regards to that and how we might make sure we overcome it. I've already done a little bit of my math around it and would definitely probably see this site as needing at least a 5-day-a-week inspection rather than a once or twice a week. So, you know, I kind of calculated that all in and, without having any data on how much I would have to get Leon on that to see how much material that was actually truly recyclable material, to figure that all out.
Well, that was the problem, Sarah. We were getting, you know, people that were vigilant on washing out the containers and things like that and bringing them there.
Right.
Somebody throws a ketchup bottle in there that's half full and then the whole thing's contaminated.
Yeah, right. And that doesn't do as bad of a job as when people throw the oil and stuff in there. Ketchup we can deal with.
But we had, you know, I mean,
but when they're moving the big stuff.
I don't want to elaborate, but we had truck toppers, we had shower stalls, we had all kinds of stuff. But a question that I have, in the past, the prosecuting attorney would not prosecute anyone for littering. Has that changed?
Tom Kaminsky and I met with the prosecutor recently because we have heard that expressed by some of our participating townships. He was going to be having a discussion with the sheriff's department about that because he said, you know, I'm not against recycling, and certainly if anything has come across my desk that had substantial evidence for prosecuting, that they would have done that. That is the last that I know has happened. I don't know if that meeting happened or not, but we expressed clearly, and for me, I've done our part because my site monitors provide me with information. A lot of our sites have cameras, so they provided camera footage for, as evidence to the sheriff's department, and they go from there to the prosecutor. So it's really out of my control, in my hands at that point. So there are litter laws that can be enforced. There are local ordinances that you could also enact to further that happening. But it is discouraging when it doesn't, when a whole lot doesn't happen. But I think we're on our way to having more discussion about it. And the sheriff department, I can say has been very helpful in responding when we've had issues. And when it's out of my hands, at least, like my site monitors will find things in the recycling, if a trash bag's thrown in there, and they'll let me know, and then I send out a really nice letter basically saying thanks for trying to recycle, but it's not, those items aren't recyclable, and please contact your community about how to properly dispose of your trash so that we don't have to take further action. So, but once I turn it over to the sheriff, they can't get back with me to say, oh, that person was this person. They can't give me any identification of who it was that they've gotten evidence against. So it's out of my hands at that point. So.
Your message center, you have a picture here of the message center in Brown Township. That's their message center that you...
No, it's one that's purchased through the program that, right, that we provide for each of our sites. So it's a really cool, made out of recycled milk jugs. Yeah. Yep, right in Michigan, made here in Michigan. So it's really a nice corkboard type enclosed message center that we change up. We put the household hazardous waste flyer in there when it's time for that. A lot of the townships will put their outdoor sign that the conservation district gives them right near there too. So we will provide that with the program.
Very good. We have had a lot of course, discontinuing that program was a drastic move that affected a lot of people, and we had a lot of discontent for quite some time. And people, I think, maybe now understand why we did it, and or they may be going somewhere else. But at any rate, it's something that we said when we discontinued it that it wasn't necessarily going to go away forever. We may bring it back if circumstances allow.
And I think that the real strong point about this is the education part of it. That again, you probably don't have the time or the staff to really do a lot of education to the general public about it, where we can, that's our focus, is really making sure we're attending to that site, we're, getting to, I've gone to the sites and just sat there before to watch people as they use it and ask them where they're from, and the one up in, Pomish, people are coming from Cadillac and coming from, Traverse City, and they're coming from all over the place. So to just kind of help them understand that, that we were really glad that we recycled, but, it's on the backs of the folks that are paying for it in these little communities. And so, take it back home to your recycling program where you recycle. So I think that's the biggest piece of it, is that, we work really closely in trying to keep attention to it and educate the citizens on how to use it so that they can share it with their neighbors and pass it on. Sometimes the recycling that gets in there that shouldn't be in there is just people thinking it's a recyclable material, and it's not. But the dumping is a different story. Right. And again, from some of my other townships, it's like all we need to do is catch one person and get them in the paper, and then hopefully that would help stop it. But the only one time we did was when it was the oil that was dumped in the Yakima container. Well,
our location over there is both convenient and a hindrance, because the traffic over there is tremendous.
Right. And that might be something we talk about, if you decide to come onto the program, is that the best location for it, because it's so obviously available to everybody and anybody. But it is a good location because it's at the fire station, so it'd be a good place to mount a camera and be able to kind of have that available.
Wonderful.
So thank you.
We'll certainly consider it, I guess, right? People? Or not? Any questions for Sarah? Well, thank you for coming up and
Thank you.
good luck on your trip home. I think you're supposed to get a lot of snow down
Yeah, we're not gonna get hit too bad, so,
there.
farther south of us.
Thank you.
Thank
And we'll
you.
be in touch.
Okay.
Item number 2 is to approve or reject the 2018 contract with Manistee County for the tax map and assessment roll maintenance. Tax rolls, tax bills, and computer services as a cost of $4.02 per parcel. That's an 8 cent per parcel increase. Question? Thanks, folks. Been moved, supported that we enter into a contract with Manistee County for the tax map and assessment roll maintenance, tax rolls, tax bills, and computer services at a cost of $4.02 per parcel. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. Item number 3 is to approve or reject the 2018 contract with Manistee County for SET summer tax collection at a cost of $1 per parcel. That's remained the same for quite some time.
I make a motion that we sign the contract service agreement with the county for $1 per parcel for the summer tax collection of SEs.
It's been moved, supported that we enter into a contract with Manistee County for the summer education tax at a cost of $1 per parcel. Any discussion? All in favor?
Wait a minute, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When it says parcel, every parcel, improved, commercial, residential,
Only improved,
only improved parcels?
yeah.
That
For
was
the
just-
school tax, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the state education fund.
SED is state education tax, yes.
They just said parcel, I didn't know to clarify, that's all.
Anything else?
Nope.
Now it's been moved and supported, all in favor? Aye. None opposed, carried. Item number 4 is to approve or reject the 2018 contract with Brown Township to provide fire department services for a standby fee of $2,000. That's an increase of $200 from the previous 2 years. That's $2,000 standby fee, $200 per hour for the first hour, $200 an hour for the first hour, and $100 an hour every hour. After that, that remains the same. Is there a motion?
There's a motion that we should sign a contractual agreement for fire and medical protection with Brown Township for us to provide.
And this is south of the Big Nasty River. I second that.
It's been moved and supported that we enter into a contract with Brown Township to provide fire services for $2,000 standby fee, $100, $200 first hour, $100 hour thereafter. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Carried. Item number 5 is to approve or reject the resolution 2018-01 to adopt a poverty exemption and income guidelines and asset test. This is for the board reviews. Deadlines
Yes.
for their decisions on board review complaints.
And this resolution, once it's adopted, does not need to be done on an annual basis unless something other than the federal guidelines change.
Unless,
There's 2 tests. There's the asset test, which is described in here that the board adopted last year,
right,
and it's part of this resolution. And then there's the federal guidelines on what the income levels are. The federal guidelines will change each year. This resolution allows for it to change each year
with it.
with it, correct?
But if we do the asset change, then the whole resolution would have to be read.
Right. If we do something different with the asset test, then we'll have to do another resolution. Correct.
Well, asset change, asset test, if I understand correctly, isn't going to change as rapidly as the poverty exemption does.
And that's very possible.
So you're making a motion? Looking for a motion?
Yes, yes, you look, searching.
I'll make the motion that we approve the resolution 2018-01 to adopt the poverty exemption income guidelines and asset test.
I support that.
Been moved, supported that we approve resolution 2018-01 to adopt the poverty exemption and income guidelines and asset test. Any discussion? All in favor?
Roll call.
All roll. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Fino,
Yes.
Ms. Jankowitz,
Yes.
Taylor is yes, Mr. Berkowitz.
Yes. Motion carried. Item number 6 is to hopefully approve a motion to change the board meeting date from March 8th to March 15th, 2018.
I make a motion to change the board meeting from March 8th to March 15th, 2018. No roll call necessary.
No. I'll second.
It's been moved, supported that we change the board meeting from March 8th to March 18th, or March 15th, 2018. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, carried. Item number 7 is to approve or reject resolution 2018-02 to approve submission of a grant application for the tennis court, pickleball court repairs. What that is a application to Health Department of Northwest Michigan Green Space Improvement Project grant to improve the playing surface up here at the tennis courts. I've prepared that myself, so Lord knows what's going to happen. But it has to be in tomorrow, so I need approval.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution for grant submission for the tennis and pickleball courts repairs.
I'll second.
It's been moved and approved that we approve resolution 2018-02 to approve submission for a grant application. I'm going to refer to it as the Health Department of Northwest Michigan Green Space Improvement Project. Any discussion?
I'd like, you have an amount in your submission.
I'm submitting a grant for $13,000.
Okay. It wasn't in the resolution. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
No roll call.
All roll.
Roll call.
Ms. Jankowitz,
Yes.
Taylor is yes, Mr. Fino,
Yes.
and Mr. Berkowitz.
Yes. Anything else we need to take care of?
No.
Bills for the month have been provided. Have you had a chance to take a look at them? What are your wishes?
I'd make a motion to pay the bills for the month as received.
I second that motion.
It's been moved, supported that we pay the bills as received. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No MTA meeting. Zoning Board of Appeals will meet Tuesday, March 6th, 2018. Is there an appeal?
No,
As of yet? No.
not as of yet.
So if there is one, it'll be March 6th, 2018, here at the Hall. Planning Commission will meet here March 1st, 7 p.m. here at the Hall. And the next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, March 15th, 2018, 7 p.m. here at the Hall. Any other comment? Yes, sir.
Well, you caught me sleeping again, but this is public comment. On behalf of the appreciative residents of Bar Lake, I'd like to personally thank Denny Berkowitz for his efforts to get the Bar Lake channel opened up and alleviate just a whale of a lot of flooding and get the proper permits, whatever was necessary, so we wouldn't be, have our shovels and picks confiscated and end up in the Muskow, so. But we thank you for that.
Well, I think that the drain commissioner deserves some credit, a lot of credit. He was on the phone with DNR, DEQ, several people. And, it worked out. It was dangerous. And we have to be vigilant not to let it get that far again. That's the worst I've ever seen since I've been here.
Yeah, it's opening up now, and it's kind of leveling off now with Lake Michigan level, and the icebergs are forming now again to prevent it from plugging with the wind and sand, at least until spring.
And looking at you, Dan, my peripheral vision reminds me that the county commissioner had a hand in it too.
Your drain commissioner, Mr. Hilliard, put a lot of effort
Yes,
into
he
that,
did.
I can tell you that
Yes,
for
he
sure.
Yes, he did. Anyone else? If not, a motion's in order.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved, supported, we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you very much.